racetrack in the world, the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. We're getting ready for the next race on today's program. That is the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup. Tom Drain will start from pole position on board bike number 59 with Reece Orchard and Jacob Hatch joining him on the front row of the grid.
And then it is Jamie Port, Archie McDonald and Marianos Nicholas from Canberra on the second row of the grid. Then it's Carter Thompson, Maxi Gibbons, who won the race yesterday, and Zach Pentondy.
So the fourth row of the grid is Lucas Knight, Lucas Quinn and Glenn Nelson on board bike number 39. Row 5, Patrick Bognar, Varys Fleming and Angus Grenfell on board bike number 36, who was on the podium yesterday.
And then it is Hunter Diplock, Jason Martin and Toby Connors with Toby James rounding out the field. And what a race yesterday. This is another one with the top 9, top 10. There was 0.6 of a second between 11 of them.
Right, we're away down towards turn 1 as they come down through the under the Melbourne Bridge. It is bike number 59. That is Tom Drain that will lead them down towards turn 1 for the first time. Bike number 12, Reece Orchard, is also very well positioned after starting from that front row of the grid as they make their way, well, all the way round through turn 1, using up all of the track. 26 bikes on track here this weekend. We are missing a couple of riders, Braxy, because I think it's Jacob Ralston on board bike number 74, who's usually one of the front runners, is over racing in the Asia Talent Cup this weekend. But the good news is so many of these riders have been selected for Asia Talent Cup selection for next year, and also Red Bull rookies as well.
Yeah, that's the week after the MotoGP here late in November. They all go over to Asia to try out to see if they can get in that ultra competitive competition. And Tom Drain, who is leading the race at the moment, 2 Australian dirt track titles last weekend, as well as Archie McDonald, a couple of dirt track titles last weekend.
Glad you mentioned Archie McDonald, because he just took the lead coming down in towards turn 4 on board bike number 69, and still holds it as they make their way through YMF corner and up towards the Hayshed, now on the exit of the corner that everyone knows as Siberia. This big long conga line of all of the riders in their matching AGV helmets and Recondi leathers and TCX boots, all running Pirelli tyres as well on board their Yamaha R15s. All of the bikes prepared identically by a dedicated team of professionals.
And talking to a couple of youngsters yesterday, I said, when do you actually get off the throttle here? And they've had to actually think about it. They've gone, I think it's turn 4 and maybe turn 10.
And it's only for a fraction of a second.
And the other thing is that we don't use brakes. It's more of using the gears to slow down, because if you grab too much brakes, it slows the momentum down too much.
That's right.
The racecraft these kids are learning at this age is just monumental. I reckon it's awesome.
Angus Grenfell took the lead as they came down into turn 10, the Pirelli corner, but back around the outside, it's Archie McDonald on board bike number 69. Tom Drain still well placed on 59. And also just having a look there, I think Jamie Port's got off to a cracking start. He jumped the start in the Yamaha R3 Cup, but he's obviously been fine-tuning his starting technique, because he's well and truly in this lead group as they make their way. They fan across the whole of the Motor Pirelli straight here at Phillip Island and make their way down towards turn 1. They're certainly getting value for money, Braxy. They're using every centimetre of this magnificent strip of bitumen as they make their way down. Now, is that Jacob Hatch on 14? That looks like he's just momentarily taken the lead, but coming around the outside as we go 4, 5, 6 abreast through turn 1 to start this second lap.
It's 10 metres wide, and they're only in motorcycles, putting out about 17 horsepower and a top speed of 127 kilometres an hour. And yet a normal road bike or race bike for the adults goes through Suzuki Southern Loop at a similar speed of 120 k's an hour. So these guys have just got it pinned the whole way. You'll see the mics set up as they come down now into YMI corner, turn number 4 for the second time. And down the hill, again, they fan out, trying to find a little bit of a real estate to get a little bit of an advantage. But Jake Hatch up the inside again to take over the lead from Angus Grenfell. Zach Pentley up there, he's just jumped off the R3 Cup bike and come and jump on the junior bike. It's confirmed that how many of these guys are actually triple dutying over the weekend. Yeah,
Jacob Hatch is one that is doing triple duty in R3 Cup, Supersport 300 and the Oceania Blue Crew Junior Cup. We commented at Winton, Braxy, that his leathers were flapping around in the breeze because he'd had a wretched weekend, crashing, and they were literally falling apart all over him. He's shown he's got a brand new set of Recondi leathers this weekend. They look absolutely magnificent, and he's doing a pretty good job this weekend to keep the scratches to a minimum.
And look at them. We've got, what are we, got 11, 12 riders in that bunch as they come over YMI Lukey Heights into Pirelli turn number 10. And it's still Jake Hatch that leads, but it'll only be momentarily because I can bet my bottom dollar that by the time they get across the start-finish line on Pirelli Modal Straight, we will have another leader. It was Reece Orchard that was there momentarily, but he's been relegated yet again as well.
And how many of these young fellas are coming from dads that are very proficient racers that still race or have raced in the past? We've got Reece Orchard and Jacob Hatch out leading. Then coming up the inside, Zach Pendy on board bike number 15, who looked like he was trying to take the lead at the apex of turn 12 in an Aidan Wagner type manoeuvre.
Well, he got shuffled out because there was a bit of a flick of the handlebars as someone leant over him. As again, look at that. 4 abreast, 5 abreast as they go under the Melbourne Bridge down into this magnificent view into YMF corner to start their third lap. And it's still 39 at the moment. That's Glenn Nelson, the young Queenslander that's come up from 5th position to lead the race. And around the outside, well, there's the white line. There's the circuit extremity. Well, I can run out to there as well. They don't get pinned like they do in MotoGP for outside the track limits. And bike number 36 as well. He's having a good Angus Grenfell. He was from 1st to 2nd, back to 7th, now back into the lead as Zach Penty pushes him out wide and says, well, have a look at the grass outside there, will you, sir?
Well, here comes Carter Thompson, who led the championship coming into this round. He also won the first 2 rounds of this championship earlier on this year at Wakefield Park and also Broadford, as they fan out once again and then come back into try and get the right line through turn 4. It is bike number 36, Angus Grenfell, that momentarily took the lead, but I think Jacob Hatch was right in there on board bike number 14 as well. And this lead group of about 15 guys has just started to get away from the group behind that starts, what is it, from 12th position. So it's 11 riders in this lead group at the moment, and at the back of that lead group was the man that qualified on pole position, Tom Drain.
And one of them has been relegated with a 10-second penalty by number 46. Marianos Nicholas sits in 10th position at the moment.
He just set the fastest lap of the race too.
Well, I've got to win it by 10 seconds now to make up for that jump start. But look at them as they fan out, coming through the hayshed, up over Lukey Heights into Pirelli turn. As we said, wherever there's a bit of black bitumen, that's where you can put a motorcycle. And look how wide they come out. Up the inside, Jake Hatch.
Around the outside and down the inside. That is a manoeuvre made famous by Wayne Maxwell on more than one occasion.
And there's no reason why Max Gibbons, he's in 10th position at the moment. He won the race yesterday, and that's a mirror of how competitive this class is. As Glenn Nelson just gasses it as far. I think he slipped the clutch there, bringing a bit of dirt tracking to try and get a bit of extra revs out of the R15.
Just having a look now as they come out onto the Motul Pirelli start-finish straight to make their way down there. Look at it's the charge of the Light Brigade back there. It's almost back to Bathsheba, isn't it, as they make their way down the start-finish straight underneath the Melbourne Bridge.
Well, I saw them yesterday. They're actually looking at each other, pushing each other towards the outside of the track, and then they're elbowing each other back as they come down now into YMF turn number 1 for the 4th time of this 6th lapper. They'll get the last lap board at the end of this one. Look, up the inside, bike number 12, it's just you blink, Reece Orchard. There was a clash of bars then, and they've all managed to stay upright, but he went from 3rd back to 7th in one fell swoop.
Yeah, I think that was that bike number 12, Reece Orchard, that looked like he got a bit of a tag and had to sit the bike up on the inside. And consequently, if you're on their inside and there's 3 blokes outside of you, they all have to stand the bikes up. As we see now, Max Gibbons has taken the lead as they make their way down towards turn 4. He was 10th 3 corners ago. Now he's in the lead. Typical Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup racing. What a great initiative it has been this year from Motorcycling Australia. 26 riders, I think, on the grid and on multiple occasions this year. This weekend we are a couple down, as we mentioned, with riders off overseas doing duty. But the racing, once again, has been absolutely sensational. And as we make our way up towards the Hayshed, it is still Max Gibbons leading. That's going to be some sort of record, Braxy. He's led for 3 corners in a row.
And he's made a bit of a gap at the moment, so you depend how much these guys don't get off the brakes as they go into Pirelli turn for the 4th time of this 6-lap journey. So Max Gibbons on bike number 31. Then right behind him on bike number 15 is Zach Pendy from up there on the New South Wales-Queensland border. Archie McDonald's in there as well. Glenn Nelson, as they fan out again to come down now as towards the end of this 4th lap. Bike number 69, Archie McDonald. He had to have a bit of a handful then because he got his nose shut off then by Angus Grenfell.
Did he actually use some brakes?
I think he had to because there was a bike in front of him.
Look, they're slipstreaming between turn 11 and turn 12 now as they make their way round through the Yamaha Revs Your Heart corner, and that's certainly what they're doing at the moment as they come past the Yamaha signs and point the bike to the left and head down the Motor Pirelli start-finish straight underneath the Melbourne Bridge. It was Max Gibbons leading as they came out of turn 12. Looks like Angus Grenfell and also Archie McDonald
gets the lead momentarily, because that'll change by the time they get to turn 1.
Well, here comes the rider that was in 10th position, making his way down the inside. Tom Drain on 59, looking like he's trying to sneak up the inside as well. Round the outside, Angus Grenfell on 36. He's got the Jack Miller helmet on, and he's certainly challenging the rider from far north Queensland, who's doing a great job this weekend in MotoGP in Thailand.
And Zach Pentley on bike number 15 tries round the outside again. 3 wide as they go through Suzuki Southern Loop for the 5th time. I tell you, Maxi Gibbons is still there. Well, he's leading for a few corners now at the moment.
But he lost the lead on the straight. He's managed to side his way back through this huge pack of, this huge lead pack of riders as they make their way down towards turn 4. That is the YMI corner.
This is almost half the field of the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup as they go through turn number 4. The great aerial shot.
How great is this class, Braxy? It's certainly been doing wonders for these young juniors as racecraft, the way that they present themselves, the way that they walk around in their leathers all weekend. They're just so keen to be a part of it as they make their way through the exit of Siberia corner now and start this long run. It'll be a long run up this hill on board a Yamaha R15.
Yeah, 17 horsepower. It is a bit of a pull up the hill, trying to get 127 top speed out of them.
Well, I thought you were going to say 127 kilos if I was riding it. Anyway, as they make their way up the hill, this is where, coming down to the end of the race now, the riders that have got that lightweight, that have a little bit more fuel in the tank than hopefully the heavier riders that have got less fuel in the tank. That was the method that they used to handicap them a little bit at the last round as Jacob Hatch comes up the inside. There was a few dive bombers back there as well. I think, just having a look, I think that may have been Jamie Port having a big lunge on board bike number 24 as well. As they start the slipstreaming from turn 11 to turn 12 as they come in. They will get the last lap board, Braxy, so as they come across the start-finish line, only 4.45 kilometres of this madness to go for their first outing today, their second for the weekend.
Archie McDonald on bike number 69 led as they came through the Yamaha Revs Your Heart corner. Then it is bike number 36, Angus Grenfell. He finished 3rd yesterday afternoon in their opening leg of the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup. They got one more race later on this afternoon as they fan out and head into turn 1 for the final time of this second leg. And there's no one leading there. They're all nose to nose as they went through there, 4 abreast.
Well, to give you an idea, Max Gibbons led them across the line at the completion of the last lap. As they came across the line to complete this lap, he was all the way back into 6th position. And, well, who knows what's happening now as they come through turn 1 and, turn 2 and make their way out towards turn 3. We've actually gone back to Max Gibbons in the lead.
If he can hold on to it. I doubt if he can. He'll be wanting to go get his 2 wins on the trot to pull up the vital championship points as they come through Kawasaki turn number 3 down into turn number 4. Who's going to be in it? Is it Jake Hatch that does lead going in there, so Max Gibbons been relegated back to 2nd position.
Unfortunately for Jake Hatch, I think he's one of the bigger, heavier riders in this class, so he needs a substantial lead to come out onto the Motor Pirelli start-finish straight to be able to win this race. Actually, he's gone very wide now and he's run extremely got one down. Was that Carter Thompson, I think, on board bike number 21 that may have been involved in that incident? I'm not sure if that was him that actually crashed. But as we look now to see how many bikes we've got left in this lead group.
I'm wondering, looking to see the numbers here. Won't make a...
They're just having a look. I think that might be Max Gibbons that leads. Glenn Nelson in there as well. Bike number 15, Zach Pedley. He is... He's coming around the outside into 3rd place. Coming around the outside even wider is Jacob Hatch on board bike number 14. Down in towards turn 10, it is Nelson on Angus Grenfell on 36 that was in the lead. But then around the outside, I think that may have even been Archie McDonald. We've got a red flag stoppage. So the run to the finish line won't matter for these riders now as the red flag comes out to finish that race. With 5 laps down, it will be... They say declared by the officials. So unfortunately for these riders, they won't get to finish that last run to the start-finish line and try and sort themselves out. But a great race once again from the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup. Red flag stoppage I'd say due to that incident on the exit of YMF corner over at Siberia. So they're all signalling now to slow down as the race safe medical team makes their way around the circuit to attend to the riders involved in that incident over there at turn 6, the exit of turn 6 on the run up the hill. Be very interesting to see what the results are. We'll go back to the completion, I'd say, of the fifth lap. It looks like we've got a few riders involved in this incident over there at the exit of turn 6. You can see the medical on the scene in a matter of moments after that incident. Let's have a look at the replay of this incident now, if we can see what happened. So that was Jamie Port on board bike number 24, was coming around the inside and looked like he came into contact with another rider and then actually went over the high side. Disappointing for Jamie, because that was one of his best rides of the year, to be in that lead group and fighting all of the way. He was sitting in about 7th or 8th position when that incident happened. Couldn't see what other riders were involved in that incident though, but there is certainly a few bikes in the gravel trap. It looks like we've got the results now confirmed for race number 2. Angus Grenfell will take the win to go with his 3rd place yesterday over Archie McDonald on board bike number 69, and Max Gibbons will take 3rd place. Zach Petterdy in 4th. As we look all the way back through this massive field of 24 odd riders here this weekend. So Carter Thompson will take 3rd place on board bike number 21. Jacob Hatch in 4th. Zach Pettendy in 5th. Cormac Buchanan in 6th. Max Gibbons in 7th. Jamie Port, Glenn Nelson and Reece Orchard round out the top 10. Let's have a look at the highlights. How you come up with highlights of a race like that, which involved overtaking every corner and every part in between every corner. As we make our way down towards turn 1 for the first time. It is Tom Drain that started from pole position that led the race early on. But Archie McDonald on 69 was quick to take the lead as they made their way through turn 4, the YMI corner for the first time. The lead group just started to move away from the rest of the field. They also started to move their way all the way across the circuit, all starting to try and take advantage of the slipstream as they made their way down the Motul Pirelli straight. Didn't matter whether they were going through the straight or round a corner. They were 3, 4, 5, 6 abreast. Here we are through turn 2. It's bike number 12. Doing a good job there. Reece Orchard consistently running at the front this weekend as well. They're making their way down the start-finish straight. You can see them all fan out once again. Glenn Nelson on board bike number 39 doing a great job to utilise the slipstream there on the inside. Moved ahead of the rest of the pack. And then other riders used his slipstream as they came down through turn 1. Then it was Grenfell on board bike number 36 that assumed the lead on the outside. Pettendy coming up the inside on board bike number 15. Down in towards turn 4, you can see some moves up the inside there. One of them by Jacob Hatch on board bike number 14. He's already been out on track this morning on board the Yamaha R3 and R3 Cup Racing. Pettendy coming down the inside on 12. Also bike number 15, Pettendy on bike number 15 coming down the inside. And then Max Gibbons. I think this was about the stage of the race where he went from the lead back to 10th place and then back to the lead in the space of 3 or 4 corners. Down through turn 10 they come at the Pirelli corner. You can see Grenfell there on bike number 36 pull out and utilise the slipstream to go around the outside of our race leader Max Gibbons as they made their way down onto the Motul Pirelli start-finish straight. And then this action all the way through turn 1 using up all the parts of the circuit, biffing and barging into each other, and then this incident that caught Jamie Port out and caused an early end to the race.